Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our pre-conference podcast of Future Bridge. Today's episode is dedicated to Greenwashing Legal Risk Management and Compliance Strategies Forum that will be held in Brussels this November. My name is Olga and I'm super happy to welcome you here today. Well, we're excited to introduce you and welcome to our pre-conference podcast our guest, Charlotte Haine, Legal Counsel of Greenomy. Charlotte, thank you very much for joining. Welcome.
Thank you, Olga, for inviting me.
Well, I have already first question for you here. Would you be able to tell us more about your current role and a bit about yourself?
So yes, my name is Charlotte Haine. I'm legal counsel here at Greenomy, where I'm mainly responsible for drafting and negotiating all commercial contracts, but I also more generally provide legal advice to our different business teams. And so Greenomy is the EU Sustainable Finance Market infrastructure who helps companies leverage the different EU regulations to accelerate their sustainable transition. I hold a master's degree in law from the Université catholique de Louvain here in Belgium. And prior to joining Greenomy, I used to work in an international law firm as a lawyer, where I specialized in intellectual property, consumer law, and trade practices.
Thank you very much for sharing your background here with us. Would you be able also to tell us a bit about the journey of Greenomy?
Sure. So the origin of Greenomy dates back to the late 2020 during COVID pandemic. It was created by a former EU Commission officer, and our initial objective was to allow companies to report their sustainability score at a low cost based on the criteria of the EU taxonomy. And so our intuition at Greenomy is that this would ultimately help the economy to transition towards a more sustainable economy, because we firmly believe that the better reporting you have, the more transparency you will have, which in turn will ensure that the money goes to the right sustainable projects. And so concretely, what we did is that during the COVID-19 pandemic, we codified more than 600 pages of regulatory criteria into a digital platform that will allow companies to generate their own sustainability report.
And question here is, how actually do your activities and platform help companies step on a more sustainable path?
Basically, Greenomy business model is a SaaS model, so a software as a service. And such kind of model has two main benefits. The first one is that it allows company to completely outsource the regulatory watch and compliance process to an external service provider. And the second one is that we at Greenomy take care to constantly update the platform with the latest legislative developments. Concretely, we help companies to comply with the new EU Sustainable Finance legislation by digitalizing the data capturing and the reporting process to enable companies to upload their sustainability data into the online platform. And the platform will then generate a report that complies with the different regulatory requirements. And this report can then in turn be shared with regulators or other financial market participants to provide visibility on this company sustainable practices. Next to this tool, we also developed a transition tool, which aims to provide tailored recommendations to a company to help improve their level of sustainability based on their current company practices. We have today already a completely functioning product, which is used by different corporates across the European Union, and which covers all taxonomy eligible activities and thus all associated sectors and industries.
Great, thank you very much for your answer here. My question is actually, maybe you as a specialist have noticed, and you could share it here with us, what are the challenges faced by companies when reporting about their sustainability?
So the main challenge, there are two challenges for a company when they report on their sustainability. The first one is the risk of greenwashing. Today, sustainability is mainstream, but it becomes more and more for a company to exactly determine what is sustainability, how to measure it, and how to achieve it. And one of the main reasons, therefore, is that there is a lack of a clear definition of sustainability. And therefore, situation may exist where companies will market their activities or their investment as sustainable without actually making a material sustainable impact, and therefore giving rise to unintentional greenwashing. And so in order to tackle greenwashing, the EU legislator has released the EU taxonomy that provides clear calculation methodology and which will allow companies to provide a standardized disclosure on how ESG factors are integrated into their products or activities. But despite that, collecting all this information, this data, applying the correct disclosure methodology in order to avoid greenwashing remains a complex process for companies to undertake. And so companies will have to navigate between the dense and new regulatory framework that exists and that keeps evolving to ensure that they provide accurate company sustainability disclosure. And this is a challenge that is extremely important, specifically as we are in an era of climate and sustainability related lawsuits against companies. According to the London School of Economics Grantham Research Institute on Climate Change and the Environment, there are currently more than 2,000 active lawsuits on climate and sustainability related matters. So it is better for companies to ensure that their disclosure are correct, defensible, and thorough to avoid any concerns in that regard. So this is the first challenge while reporting on sustainability for companies. The second one, I would say that it is related to all the compliance costs. Currently on the market, there are not enough sustainability experts that will cover the upcoming surge of sustainability reporting. But also, companies will need to involve costs for adapting their internal information process and also maybe their IT tools to collect the required information. And this can be very expensive and time-consuming for companies. And maybe a last one that I mentioned too, but another one may be the uncertainty that companies are facing. They don't know where to begin. There is maybe also a fear of failure and a lack of internal alignment in that regard.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for your answer here, mentioning so many details. And our final question for today would be, how does Greenomy actually help companies to respond to these challenges, if you can share?
Yes, so I think that a key solution to these challenges is to make use of a RegTech solution that guides company on how they complete their sustainability reporting step by step throughout the entire journey. And that is what we do at Greenomy by providing company with an easy to use in-house tool that simplifies the whole process. And so all in all, our tool will allow companies to save up to 90% of the cost and the time they would have used if they have done their reporting manually or internally. So this is for the challenge on the compliance cost. Regarding greenwashing, from an early stage, we have incorporated auditing and certification as part of our solution. So this means that the Greenomy solution will take the information reported and generate a regulatory compliant report, which is then screened by an auditor. Another example that I can give you is that we require mandatory backing of responses But this is something that maybe we can dig in deeper during the upcoming global summit in November.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for joining our pre-conference podcast, which was dedicated to greenwashing legal risk management and compliance strategies. We're looking forward to meet you in Brussels this November and hear your presentation. And we're super excited that the Greenomy is a part of the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olga. See you in November.